Is being approval seeking killing your soul and making you hate yourself? The thing you have to understand, guys, about being approval seeking and constantly seeking other people's validation, constantly caring what other people think of you, if other people are going to judge you, if other people are going to notice your flaws, if other people are going to make fun of you. Are you doing this right? Are you doing that right? You know, I don't want to get kicked out of the tribe. Constantly being worried what everybody else is thinking of you and constantly seeking their approval is making your soul hate you. Okay? Living for the external and living for other people's thoughts and opinions of you makes your soul hate you. All right? There's a saying that all forms of depression come from suppression, right? Anytime you try to suppress, you will feel depressed. If you try to suppress who you are, right? aka filtering yourself, managing the impression you give off of yourself. Anytime you suppress your natural born character and you filter who you are, your soul turns on you. Your soul doesn't like that. You know, this is why you don't really feel good in your own body. You might feel like, you know, like, whew, oh man, I'm so glad they didn't notice this flaw in my face, or whew, I'm so glad I didn't say this and upset anybody. Oh, I might have gotten kicked out of the tribe. You know, whenever you do things like that, you're not living for yourself. You're living for everybody else. Worse, you're not even living for them. You're living for their opinions of you, okay? You are living for their opinions of you. And this is where, you know, I mean, a lot of guys hate pickup artistry. They hate the fact that guys like myself teach other guys game and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't need to learn that. And it's like, no, dude, you do need to learn this stuff. And you should, because we were not taught this stuff growing up. I mean, all of us who were born in the last 50 to 75 years were indoctrinated with heavy amounts of feminist propaganda. Okay, and our brains were so indoctrinated that, you know, we were wired to think like females, where we were, you know, basically females are wired to go along to get along, right? This is why most women just have that natural hive mentality, natural groupthink way of thinking, where they just follow the group. You know, they don't make moves without looking to somebody else. They're not really individuals that way, just because they were not really designed to be that way. It's not their fault. This is just the way they're designed. They're designed to follow the group. They're supposed to follow their man, really. That's how God designed it. It's like they designed a woman to basically look to her man for guidance. But because we live in such a feminist culture where they hate marriage and they hate families and they hate seeing like normal, straight male and female couples together even, these women don't really look to men to lead them anymore. They just look to everybody, like anybody. They just look for where the whole flock is going and then they follow the flock. This is why social proof in game is so powerful, right? Like I've always told guys, like the more beautiful women I was able to get in my life, the easier it was to get more, because I would go out with those beautiful women and then other beautiful women would look. They would be like, oh wow, who's that guy? And then, you know, I would get their number by the bathroom or kind of like by the bar, like kind of just very, very under the radar, right? And it was just much easier to get beautiful women when I was already dating beautiful women. And especially now with social media, you know, a lot of guys are like, oh, don't these girls see your social media and freak out? Like they don't want to see you. And it's like, no, actually they don't. It makes them want me more. You should see my DM. You would be surprised, like the level of hot girls who are hitting me up on the DM. For women, social proof is very, very powerful. I mean, to the point where she could see a guy who's just average looking, right? Just average looking. But if he's surrounded by hot, gorgeous women, especially if they're hotter than her, she's going to be intrigued by that. Like, what is it about this guy? Why are so many girls surrounded by him? Why, you know, what do they see in him, right? Even if she's not initially attracted to him, she will become attracted to him. You don't know how many girls have told me, like, you know, you weren't really my type. But then I started like, just kind of like research you more. And I was like, actually, he's kind of cute. And then I was like, after a few days, I was like, actually, it's pretty hot. You know, it's like, where did this come from? You didn't even like me to begin with. You were cursing me out on YouTube. You were dropping hater comments. How come you like me now? You know, but that's the effect is, I mean, you know, when these girls see you with other women, other beautiful women, it intrigues them. Whereas for guys, we don't think like that. We don't care. Like, I mean, if we see an average looking girl and she's surrounded by male models, we don't care. It's not going to intrigue us. We're not going to want to magically sleep with that girl like, what do these male models see in her? No, we just don't care because we know just by looking at her, we're not attracted, right? But if we see us like a stunner and we're like, wow, that chick's drop dead gorgeous, I want to get with that chick, we don't care if she's surrounded by male models or not. We know we want her. We don't need the social proof, right? We don't need verification of that. Understand, as men, as a man, you are an individual, right? Your biological makeup is to make your own decisions and live for yourself and be an individual and not worry about what anybody else has to say about you, okay? Not worry about what the tribe will think of you if you go against them, if you say something that is out of context or something that is polarizing. When you are seeking approval from somebody, I mean anybody for that matter, you never really feel good about it. You always feel like you're shortchanging yourself, you know, and you're not really embracing who you are. The reason why you do that, the reason why you're not able to be your real self with people is because society has put you in your head, right? Again, all going back to all of this like feminist brainwashing, it's put you in your head to where you're thinking like a woman and you feel like, oh, I don't want to upset the tribe. I got to be like everybody else. I got to assimilate, right? I got to assimilate. That's not part of your makeup as a man. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. And this is why your soul ends up hating you, because your soul's like, yo, why are you trying to assimilate? Why don't you just be who you are? Why don't you just be who you are and stop apologizing for it? Stop saying sorry, right? You don't know how many people have, like, especially when women I've dated who've like Googled me and they're like, oh my gosh, this channel, oh, it's so misogynistic. And what? You've dated 350 women. Oh, I don't want a part of this. And then they end up dating me anyway because I'm like, I don't back down. I'm like, what is the problem? What are you upset about? Did I know you back then? No, I didn't know you. I was on my own journey, right? I'm like, hey, sorry I didn't meet my, my dream girl back then. Sorry I didn't meet my wife and, get married like everyone else and have kids and have the house with the white picket fence. Sorry I took this road, By the way, I'm not saying I was sorry. I'm just saying that as an expression, right? I'm like, oh, sarcastically, like, oh, forgive me for not following the beaten path. But at no point am I ever like, apologetic about what I did. I'm like, hey, that's what led me to where I am today. And really, that's what led me to meeting you, right? Had I not done these things, we probably wouldn't know each other. Whenever anybody tries to shame me about, my channel or all the red pill stuff, especially lately, I always tell them like, yep, it's all true. It's all based on facts, statistics, personal experience. And I don't apologize for it. I make no apologies for it. Right? If you're offended by it, why are you offended by it? I just tell them I make no apologies for that whatsoever. It's just part of who I am, right? Just as you should too, right? You should not apologize for these things. You should never apologize for the person you are. I mean, doing that is low value. Right? If you're constantly seeking somebody's approval and constantly validating yourself to them, you're basically acting low value. And you know what? Other people view that as low value. They don't view you as high value. Like if you think you're like people pleasing them and trying to make them happy and, trying to assimilate to their, their bullshit beliefs and values that have nothing to do with yours. If you're just doing that, then you know what? That is low value. And they can sense that. They can sense that, wow, this person's not being like real with us. When people try to test me about my content or my channel and I don't back down, they could see like, okay, this guy's actually believes in what he's saying. He's genuine, he's authentic. And even though they might not like the content or might not even like me, they respect the fact that I'm not backing down. They respect the fact that I'm like, wow, he's not only not backing down, but he's embracing it, you know? We can't shame him. And you don't know how many comments I've seen, like, from women who've tried to come on the channel and shame, and I just tell the girl, I'm like, hey, you're about like 2 decades too late, because me and all of my followers are hip to your BS. We know what you're trying to do, and guess what, chica? It does not work here, okay? It does not work here anymore. Understand, whenever you're doing like low value, approval seeking behaviors, you're really killing your soul, and you know, you're really turning on yourself. You're becoming your own worst enemy. It just goes back to everything I teach you guys. You have to embrace who you are and stop running away from who you are. You know, in life, we're constantly running away from who we are, right? Because nobody's out there empowering us, right? It's Hollywood, mainstream media, nobody's out there like helping us as men. I mean, everything's for women. Why do you think women are so, like, their self-esteem is through the roof these days, especially Western women? Their entitlement is through the roof. Their self-esteem, their egos are through the roof. And you're like, man, what is going on here? It's look at society. It's literally been structured the last several decades to support women and to denigrate men, right? So I don't blame you for feeling this way, but as a man, you can fix it, right? As an individual, you can fix it by obviously digesting coaching videos like mine, red pill content like mine, right? And really learning the knowledge that's been kept from you all of these years, so you can start applying them into your life. You don't have to take the scenic route like most guys and, you know, try to figure out on your own. You've got guys like me on YouTube who are just telling you exactly what to do, and all you have to do is take action and do it and apply it in your life, and stop being so approval seeking, especially when you're approaching these hot girls. This is why you never get these hot girls, because you walk up to the girl like with an agenda, and that's what it really translates to when you're trying to seek another person's validation. It's like you have an agenda, right? And that's the worst thing you can do for getting a person to like genuinely like you. Is like, if that person feels you have an agenda, you know, they're just going to want to stay clear of you. I mean, nobody wants to be around a person who's just not able to be themselves, right? Who are kind of like putting up this front, and it's not who they are. And this is why I'm big on living what I teach. Like me teaching pickup, I'm like, hey, I live what I teach. You know, the day that I retire from going out and doing game and cold approaching, I'm gonna stop teaching first, because I never want to be that fake dating guru, like hiding behind a microphone, who's like, yeah, do this, this, and this, even though I haven't cold approach in years. Just trust me. You know, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be out there in the field, on the battlefield, you know, in the action, in the like the middle of the stadium, people cheering, people booing. I want to be in the action, and then reporting back to you, you know, via my channel, via my programs, via 7 Months of Mastery, and teaching those lessons to you. Like, hey, you know, this is what's going on out there. I never want to be sitting behind the microphone and not actually living what I teach. I mean, being genuine and authentic and real is just very, very like critical for me. I mean, it's what I look for in not only friends, but dating partners, business partners, anybody that I bring into my life. I want people who are real. And even if I have no connection with that person, we have completely different values and beliefs, at least I know that up front, and I respect the person for not, you know, trying to shield that, you know, and not trying to pretend they're somebody else when they're actually this person. You guys got to knock off the people pleasing and knock off the approval seeking behavior where you're constantly living for the external, and you're constantly living in other people's frames, other people's reality, and you're not even living in your own. And by the time you're like old and gray and you can't move around anymore, you don't have the energy to move around, you don't have the energy to drive your DeLorean around town, right? Your stainless steel DeLorean, when you don't have that youth and energy anymore, where you can't step on your clutch, you don't want to have to look back on your life and go, man, I missed the parade. you know, I really wish I lived for myself instead of everyone else, because you will regret that. And there is a book written by a nurse. Her job was to be at the bedside of, you know, basically the elderly who were dying, and based on her years of experience, she noticed that there were basically like five main regrets that a lot of these elderly people had right when they were about to pass away. And I believe one of them was not being able to be themselves, and the other thing was like not pursuing what they wanted to do and just pursuing what others wanted them to do, like family, and getting pressure from, you know, friends and stuff like that. And I mean, it always reverted back to these people like dying and regretting the fact that they did not live for themselves. Okay, and it's been a few years since I read this book, but it really hit home with me a long time ago. I think it was over 10 years ago, but it hit home with me because I was like, man, I don't want to have that regret. I want to die with as little regret as possible. And that was one of them. And that's something that's easily fixable, is, you know, stop living in other people's movie. Start living in your own movie. Stop watching other people's movie. Start watching your own movie, right? As I talk about the secret of being an alpha male, right? Be the observed. How many times I have to say that? Be the observed. Never be the one who's doing the observing, right? Never be the one who's creating the expose videos or the response videos. Be the guy that everybody's freaking out about, getting their panties in a bunch, doing the expose videos about. Be the guy that everyone's doing the response videos about, right? Be the observed. Never be the observing, right? Live in your own movie and let the spectators watch. Let the spectators criticize you. Let the spectators make fun of you, hate on you, think about you day and night, obsess about you, right? Waste their own lives and waste their own time on this earth freaking out about what you're doing instead of living their own lives. Because really, you're the ultimate alpha male if you're you're distracting people away from their own lives to pay attention to you, especially to hate on you, where they're not really getting any value, right? Because haters don't get value from like hating on you, because obviously they're not watching your channel, they're just hating on you, right? Whereas guys who follow you, like guys who follow me, for example, they're gaining value. Right? They're not here to hate, they're here to gain value. But at the end of the day, you want to be the observed. You want to be the one that everyone else is watching. Like, man, what is this guy going to do next? How is he going to respond to this? Oh my gosh, how is he going to deal with the, you know, this critique of him? And how is he going to handle the fact that, oh, his channel's growing or his channel's not growing? You know, oh, wow. You know, be the one that everyone's talking about. Be that guy. And focus on your own life and live in your own frame. Live in your own reality. Do not live in other people's reality. Okay? Please do not do that as a follower of my channel. Live in your own reality. Live for what you want to do. A lot of business friends of mine, even some followers of mine, were like, hey dude, get a Lamborghini instead. Get a Ferrari. Get an AMG Benz. You know, don't get the DeLorean. Get the Lambo. And you know what? I got the DeLorean. I'm like, you know, they're like, why? And I'm like, because that's what I wanted. That's what I felt like buying. So that, guess what? That's what I bought, right? You have to live in your frame. You have to live in your movie, guys, okay? Do not live in other people's, because all of this approval seeking and living for the external and, I mean, doing shit like that, I mean, that is really what makes you so reactive in life. That's what really raises your cortisol levels and makes you just like, gives you even more social anxiety. So if you want to break free from all that, stop trying to validate yourself to other people. Now, this doesn't mean to not socially calibrate and to be a complete dickhead whenever you feel like it. No, obviously you have to socially calibrate, right? You have to show some social empathy from time to time. But in no way does that mean to start seeking the other person's like praise and honor, wishing the other person would tell you that you're okay or that you're a good person. No, right? No. So live in your frame, not others. Live for yourself, not the external. Be the star of your own movie and let other people watch your movie. Don't sit there watching other people's movies. Okay? And this is why I don't really watch a whole lot of movies these days, by the way. It's just I'm enjoying my own movie. I'm enjoying my own life. I'm enjoying reality too much to sit in a darkened theater for 2 hours, waste those 2 hours of my life watching somebody else's life play out, and it's not even real. It's, you know, it's all made up, right? Even the movies that are based on a true story are like 70% of it is fabricated. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? Make sure you subscribe. That way I can produce more and more content for you guys. And I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. And for you guys who want to support my content and my channel and all of this knowledge I'm pumping out for you, as well as all these car review videos lately, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube, where my content is protected and I don't have to worry about YouTube taking down all of my premium coaching videos or suddenly shutting down my channel. So if you want to become a premium member of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, that is the absolute best way to support my work. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets content from me. It's just $1. So take advantage of it. And all you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.